morning, guys. My name is Tyreon Clark, Boys to Men Leadership Group Director. Today I'm here with my son,
Clark.
And today we're going to teach you guys how to tie a tie. There are 17 ways on how to tie a tie. Today we're going to teach you the most easiest way on how to tie a tie, which is the four-in-hand knot. It's a simple process. Everything is done in hand. As you see, I have my collar up. That's one of the first steps to tying a tie is being able to, one, button your shirt up. So you got to have a full button-up shirt. If you guys don't know how to button a shirt, we normally teach our kids to button our shirts from top to bottom. All right, so therefore our shirt is not uneven. Right here we have our shirts buttoned up from bottom to top, and with these style shirts, they look 10 times better like this than with a collar shirt or a regular T-shirt. One of the first things we do when we button our shirts is leave the top button open. So when you're tying a tie, it's very important that you pop your collar up. All right, you don't want your collar down, but you want your collar up. Okay, because this is where the tie is held at. Okay, the second step, all right, when tying a tie, is to now button your top button. Okay, so we're gonna button our top button, because eventually we're going to have to tie our tie, and that's where our tie is going to cover this top button. It looks way more professional like that than to leave your top button unbuttoned. Okay? So then we're going to get into the tie tying process. When you're tying your tie, you have two ends of the tie. You have the big end. Say it with me, big end. And then you have the small end. Say it with me, small end. Okay? So one of the first things we want to look at when tying a tie is the big end. You don't want the big end to be too long, because if the big end is too long, guess what? You're going to have a long tie. And when it comes to tying your tie, you might mess up a few times. You're going to get frustrated. All right? Then you have the small end. You don't want your small end too short or too long and your big end too short, because when you get into tying your tie, your tie is going to be too short. All right? So what I recommend is that you pull your big end down, okay? Your small end is going to be about, I would say about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches away from your belt, okay? And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to pinch each end, all right? And we're going to take the big end over our small end. So everybody say big end over, big end over. Okay? This right here is going to be the start of the form of the knot. Okay? Notice my hands, I'm holding it, pinching it. I'm going to go big end under. Okay? Second step, big end under. Okay? Third step, big end wrap around, which is going to bring us here. So as you can see, my knot is beginning to form. Okay? And then I'm going to go big end up. And this is a two-step process in one. We go big end up and big end through. And just like that, you got your tie tied. All right? So once my tie is tied, there's a little part behind, all right, the small end, you got your tie tucker. All right? Once my tie is tied, I hold my knot and I pull up. And it gradually pulls up to your neck. All right? You think this is a good tie? No, it's not. All right, so what do you think I did wrong? So we go back to the top. So my big end was probably too short, and my small end wasn't short enough. Well, my big end was probably too long, and my small end wasn't short enough. So we go back to the top. We go big end over. Say it with me, big end over. Big end under. Second step. Wrap around. As you can see, my knot is beginning to form. Last step, say up, big end up. And big end through. So you pull your big end through the knot. My tie's tied, okay. Now I'm going to hold my knot, say hold my knot. We're going to take the small end. We're going to pull down. Is that a good tie? All right. So what will happen after that? Do this one more time. I want a perfect tie. I want the perfect tie. All right. Yeah, it does. That's what practice makes perfection. All right. So we go back to the top. So right there, I was what? I was 6 to 8. That was too short. I was 8 to 10. That was too short. So now I'm gonna go what? About 11, 12. That's pretty large. All right. So we're gonna go big and over. Hold my knot. Big and under. Wrap around. All right. Big and up. You can pull it at the top so you can see your knot. And we're going to go big in through. All right. Pull down, hold the knot. You want to pull the big end all the way to the top so it hides your button. Tuck it behind. Now I got my tie tied. All right. So the last step when getting your tie tied is you want to cover this button right here. The last step after you're getting your tie tied, you hold your knot, you pull the small end down to cover up the button, you even it out, then you pull your collar down. All right, then you check yourself out in the mirror, make sure you're looking good. You make your necessary adjustments after that. And then you should be ready to roll. All right. There's 3 reasons why to wear a tie. I think he did a good job right here, by the way. But there's 3 reasons why to wear a tie. The first one is confidence. It's just like, you see a person in glasses and they look smart. You see a man in a tie and they look confident, right? You could tell by the way that a man walks when he has a tie on that he has confidence, all right? And confidence does a lot of things. In your schools, you see young men wearing ties to school, their walk is different, their talk is different, and then the expectations of leadership is a little bit different than a boy that's coming to school in regular clothes. The second reason why to wear a tie is your career. So you see principals in schools wear ties. If you see a principal, it's mandatory for principals in schools to wear ties. Sometimes you might see a police officer in a tie. Sometimes you might see a sheriff in a tie, a state police officer in a tie. And it looks a little bit different when people step into their careers in a tie than when they're stepping in casual clothes. And the third reason to wear a tie is looking good. Everybody to put on a tie. You see a preacher show up on Sunday. He look a little bit different, than a preacher that's showing up in one of those no, I'm playing. But it looks different, and you could tell when a boy puts from a boy when he puts on a tie to where as he grows older and he goes to prime, it's like, oh man, that young man looks handsome. I tell you guys that you don't just have to wear ties on Easter Sundays. You can wear ties every day. That's a part of your attire. Your attire that shows that 1, you're confident. 2, you like to look good. And then the last one, the reason to wear a tie is your character. In Boys to Men, we often talk about, molding the man behind the tie. Molding the man behind the tie. What does that mean? Anybody can put on a tie and look good, but it's not just about wearing the tie, it's the person behind the tie. What is your character behind the tie? Are you making the right choices? Are you doing the right things behind this tie? And once you learn how to tie a tie, that develops your confidence. That allows you to look good. That allows you to go get a job in a career, in your career field, because you can go into interviews and look the part, all right? You want to set yourself apart in this world, I challenge you to wear a tie. And even if you don't want to wear a tie every day of the week, I challenge you to just dress for success one day a week, and that one day might be the best day of your whole entire week. Just by you just waking up and putting on a tie, dressing good, looking nice, that might boost your confidence. That might give you an opportunity that you might not get just wearing regular street clothes every day. All right. And there's multiple situations to why you will wear a tie. All right. One, your wedding date shouldn't be the only way the only reason why you wear a tie. A lot of men wear ties on prom and weddings. That shouldn't be the only reason why you wear a tie. Okay. One of the big reasons why you should wear a tie is going into a job interview. You show me a man that goes into an interview with street clothes, and then I show you a man that goes into an interview with a tie on, and I show you the outcomes. The outcomes are totally different. All right, and that's because people want you to be presentable. You know, an organization that is trying to hire you, an organization that is seeking candidates for a particular position, they want to see men come into these interviews dressed professionally. Okay, and it could be just that interview. That interview, if you come dressed professionally, it can change your entire life. 2, the court systems. All right, you show me a man that has a case that goes into the court system with a tank top on. The judge is going to remove him from the courtroom or ask him to leave because that's not appropriate court attire. 2, you show me a man that has a case that goes into court and he comes in with a T-shirt on, the outcome might be a little different. Okay? But you show me a man that goes into the courtroom that's presentable with a tie on, and the judge might give him some leeway just based off of his presentation. I've seen it happen. All right? Perfect example. Run a program at the Juvenile Detention Center called MAC Intervention Group. And one of the things we did in our program is we looked at juveniles going into the system, going into the court system with regular inmate clothing on, compared to a juvenile that's going into the system with a white dress shirt, a nice tie, and some khakis on. The juvenile that went into the court system with inmate clothing on, he was more than likely to stay in the system and not get out. But the juvenile that went looking presentable in the dress shirt, tie, and the khaki, his time either got reduced or he was released because the appearance, the presentation of this young man showed that he's trying to make a change for his life. And it's the same thing when you look at our Boys to Men leadership group. A kid that comes to school in regular clothes every day, compared to a kid that's dressing for success in our program, the expectations are a little different. And when you begin to look at why a tie is important, those reasons, it's the character development of a person. A kid that's stepping into a school with regular street clothes on, and a kid that's stepping into the school with a tie on once a week, their expectations is risen, but their academics and their behavior changes. All right. Say for instance, my son, he knows one day a week he has to go to school dressed up, and some of those days where he goes to school dressed up is the best days of his week. It's the best days of the year because the expectation is different. He knows that today I got to go to school and dress for success. And that's exactly what it is. When you put a tie on, you're dressing for success. Whatever success looks like towards you or for you, that's what you're dressing for. All right? And my son knows when he goes to school with a tie on, his expectations is risen. You know, you're representing something that's bigger than yourself. You know, and that's what the tie is. When you wear a tie, you represent men all across the country. You don't never see a man across the country acting a fool with a tie on. You just don't see it. But you might find somebody that, you know, regular street clothes on, getting in a lot of trouble. Besides the politics part, yeah, there's a lot of men that act the fool with ties on. But wearing a tie is a symbolism of respect. People will respect you. It's a symbolism of confidence. It's a symbolism of good character. It's a symbolism of integrity. And when you put a tie on, you represent all those things. Now, just because you wear the tie, that don't mean those things are within you. But that's the expectation is when you put a tie on, this is what we expect of you. And in Boys to Men, it's the same thing. When you put a tie on, we expect our young man to achieve their highest level of academic success. We expect them to meet the behavior standards of the tie. We expect them to be in control of their emotions. You don't really see a lot of men in ties that have crazy emotions. Normally, they're pretty confident. And then we expect them to be social. You can go to a room full of men with ties on, and you can see the social experience is different. The conversation is different. All right. But you can also go into a room and see people without ties on, and their conversations are a little bit different. But the confidence in conversation of men in a room with suits and ties on, it looks a bit different than men in rooms with regular street clothes on. So I will leave you guys with this today. Is I challenge you guys to dress for success at least one day a week. All right, dress for success in the career field that you're in. You know, if you got family at home, I challenge you to. I mean, it might be the only day of the week that y'all go out to eat. Dress for that outing. You know, put on some clothes and say, "Family, we're going out to eat," and put a towel. I bet people look at you different. I bet the feeling is different. You know, and you have a chance to dress for success. If you have a tie, if you don't know how to tie a tie, go back to the top and learn the forehand and knot. All right, that's the most easiest way. And if you can't learn the forehand and knot, there's 17 different ways for you to learn how to tie a tie. That the first one that I taught today, or that one lesson that I taught today, it can change your life. It's changed many lives already. And if you learn that basic step on how to tie a tie, it will change your life. Son, how old are you?
7.
When did you learn how to tie your own tie?
6.
There's no excuse. You know, there's no excuse to why you can't learn how to tie a tie, but it's up to you to want to learn how to do it. All right? Thank you. You can get a hold of me at Boys to Men Leadership Group, Kentucky, on Facebook. We have a Twitter page, Boys to Men KY, or Boys to Men _KY. We have an Instagram, Boys to Men Leadership KY. My name is Tyreon Clark. You can reach me by email, tcprogramdevelopment@gmail.com. Those are some of the easiest ways to get a hold of me.